There's a part in the trailer where Logan jumps down and then he does the claws up through the face. That one I thought maybe was going to be taking it too far, but I am so glad that we have it. It looks fantastic.
Welcome to Between the Joysticks. Press start and then we're off. Nick and John, they've got the sauce. Breaking news and some hot takes. Even if there's some mistakes, Nick is captaining the ship, while John gives thoughts straight from the hip. But when their powers combine, we're all in for a hell of a time. Between the Joysticks is the best. Up to 6 things they will address. Tell all your friends and settle in. Between the Joysticks now begins.
Hello there, and welcome to episode 154 of the podcast Between the Joysticks. On this episode, we'll be breaking down the latest PlayStation State of Play. What are our thoughts on seeing gameplay of Saros and Wolverine for
Will
the
the Tigers
first time?
ever win another baseball game? We don't know.
They won last night, man.
The audience doesn't know that. They don't know it. I don't know when they're listening to this. Yes, I know.
That voice you heard is my co-host, John, and as always, I am your host, Nick. Now, I'm super stoked to get into this State of Play, but there are a couple news items I wanted to get to first. And the first thing I wanted to talk about...
The Tigers won a game last night. Yes, I'll take this from you, Nick. Spencer Torkelson went off. No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead. Sorry.
We'll see how this season shakes out, and
Yeah.
and you can tell by John's mood on the show.
We'll just say we're recording a day late because I was in the dumps yesterday.
Yeah. No, the first item is pretty wild. Again, this I can't believe this continues to happen. The Xbox product line got another price increase.
Yep.
5 years ago, you could buy a Series S for $300, and you could buy a Series X for $500. But starting now, you can buy those things, a Series X for $650 and a Series S for $400.
Why the fuck are you laughing, dude? What are you laughing about?
Because it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's quite ridiculous.
What else can you do?
I mean, it's exceeding a point where, you know, laughter is the only thing you can really do. Yeah, because it's starting to defy all economic regularities and things like that, right? Like, there's never been a generation that the cheapest time you could have ever bought a console was day one. And we saw the price increase, what was that, maybe 3-4 months ago, you know, going up, which was unprecedented. And then for have it happen again for a industry loser is just... I don't mean industry loser like Microsoft's a bunch of losers. They're just third place.
Right.
Is pretty wild.
Yeah, and historically, obviously, they go down in price. You know, typically, you know, it's a race to get under $100. You know, for back in the day, you could get a Nintendo 64 for under $100, and here we are, and they're just increasing. And the kind of the other than the sucks takeaway is like, I'm going to ask you now is like when do we see the next generation of consoles?
I mean, I still think it'll be probably like 2028 if I were to guess one.
So that would make this the longest running generation of consoles.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, typically during times of economic hardship, you'll see a little bit of a delay. I believe or do you maybe correct me in real time? Do you typically see a delay or rushed release? Because I know 2008 was like, you know, the great United States recession or whatever you want to call it, and I believe that delayed the PS4 by a little bit.
Yes, that's the longest running generation at 7 years.
Right. Okay. So yeah, and I mean we're basically going through a recession. All whether the government wants to say we are or not. Economics are not easy for everybody right now. So I think it will extend it a little bit. But if there's one thing I know about corporations is that they are greedy, and so they're not gonna. I think if they are able to get things ready to go, even if the increase of power of frame rates and things like that aren't necessarily necessary for at that time to jump up, they're still going to do it because they know they'll sell millions and millions, off the bat, right? We're going to talk about something.
You think if a PlayStation 6 and the next Xbox launch at these kind of prices, 700 and above, do you think?
Do you want to skip ahead to the next story right now?
What's that?
About the Xbox ROG Ally?
I wasn't going to bring that story, but
okay. Yes, I do. I mean, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice. No, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me.
And you want to explain? Go ahead and explain the ROG Ally.
I will. I'll here in the back end. But we've already had a couple examples, many examples of things getting priced, everybody freaking out, and them selling out immediately. The Switch 2, the PlayStation 5 Pro, any number of graphics cards that come out, people buy them immediately. And they just today or yesterday announced the price of the Xbox ROG Ally at $1,000 for the upgraded version, right? And I think that that one. It might not sell out immediately because I think the Xbox brand is obviously on their back heel right now. So I don't know if you're going to get a lot of people that are hyped to get the next one. But I think PlayStation, despite this there's a little bit of obfuscation here when they said PlayStation 5 is the most successful Sony generation ever. Obviously that's going to be the case. Money is not the same as it was in 1997. So if you're just talking about the most money you've generated, of course it is. But I also think after the release of Grand Theft Auto 6, that's going to further the gap. People are going to be pumped and ready to buy the next thing, no matter what. I think video games are one of the few things that's almost inflation proof in a weird, stupid way.
Yeah, well, I mean, because the initial barrier to entry is the console, and then from there, I mean, if it's not the most expensive hobby out there, that's for sure. It's not as expensive as a trip to Disney World or concert tickets or all the other things that.
Because I think something that's also important to keep in mind too is that every single year the average age of a gamer gets a little bit older, which means you have a little bit more spending income, right? When we talk about consoles back in the day, you and I were teenagers and we're begging our parents to buy it for us, and maybe they'll do it, maybe they won't. Right. Now I'm a grown-ass man with my own paycheck, so if I know this thing's coming out, I can budget myself appropriately. Not saying everybody has the ability to do that, or it's even a wise thing to do. Again, we've talked about this many times on the show. If you are sweating $5, $10 for games increasing, you probably shouldn't be buying the day one console if it's super, super duper pricey. But
yeah, I mean, games are so spaced out typically that I usually don't blink about buying a game because I don't even buy it an average of one a month typically, a brand new full priced game. So, but
yeah, I do want to recently. I don't know if you saw that with this price increase, Costco has officially pulled all Xbox things from their shelves. They will no longer be selling Xboxes. So I don't know if that's more of a we already saw such a little demand for this thing at this price point. Why even bother trying to increase our supplies? But I think it's just one of those things that we saw this a lot in COVID, and we won't get super political here, but just a little minor point I want to make is that, I think a lot of companies took advantage of the COVID price bump, right? Prices went up, inflation went crazy, and everybody's like, don't worry, it's temporary, it's temporary, it's temporary. No, it was never temporary. Prices stayed the same. It is what it is. Corporations are going to take advantage. And I think there's a similar thing with this tariff, Trump's tariffs and stuff too, right? It's there's an easy scapegoat right now for companies. Microsoft doesn't need to worry about their margins, right? Microsoft is the second or third largest company in the world. Right. So if they really wanted to eat this cost and be a little bit consumer friendly, they could. But I think what you see from companies is they can blame the tariffs if they want to. They can kind of just blame the economic hardships, keep it there. And
then when say tariffs change, don't change it back.
Yeah, and we know that Microsoft has been making this direction towards a non-hardware centric business model anyway. Why not just keep it going? I mean, I think even if they haven't said so much to the public that Microsoft doesn't really want to be in the hardware space in 10 years, let's say, so why not use this opportunity to try and get as much as you can if there is any diehard Xbox people. I don't know who possibly is buying a $650 console in 2025 for a 5-year-old machine, but it's definitely unprecedented and kind of wild. Yeah.
Okay. So I was gonna bring this because I do think the next generation seems further and further off because of this kind of stuff. But
yeah, I mean, like I said, I think that these large scale companies, they operate on such a I don't know, clock, for lack of a better term, right? As soon as the PS5 released, they probably had teams ready to Q&A or R&D, the PS6, get that going. Had a timeline in mind with probably 6-7 years. It might have got pushed back a little bit, but I don't think they would want to push it back too far, because it doesn't make Sony can keep selling consoles, man. They have nothing to worry about. Xbox, I don't know what they're gonna do.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, especially next year when Grand Theft Auto comes out, you're going to see the PlayStation sell through the roof.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
you're
it's
gonna
gonna
see it
make so much money.
Switch 2 and sales and all that for sure. So
Anybody who buys any type of add-ons on Grand Theft Auto, the PlayStation gets 30% of that too, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they're gonna make a lot of money with that.
Oh yeah. All right,
Cool.
we can move on to our next news story involving Playground Games. Not satisfied just doing the next Fable, which is supposed to come out next year. They're also doing, just announced, Forza Horizon 6. It is taking place in Japan, and it is also coming out next year. Now, next year is going to be was already a crazy year in video games. Microsoft said expect, we theorized that the Halo 1 remake will be next year. Gears of War E-Day will be next year. Fable will be next year. And now they also have a Forza Horizon game. And then that's the mix with, Grand Theft Auto and Resident Evil and the other games we'll be talking about here, announced at the State of Play that, holy shit, dude. Mm-hmm. But, John, you're the Forza fans. Are you excited for the next entry in Japan?
Japan, yeah. I mean, Forza fan. I'll take that. I'll take that label. That's fine. I mean, I played a little bit of 5. That's the only one I've ever played, and I did think it was.
It's the most on this show.
It was a very good, fun racing experience. But yeah, I mean, having Japan as the setting, A+. I mean, that's where I would, if you could let me pick a single place in the world, that would be it. So I'm pumped to see that. I always like Japanese aesthetics anyway. I mean, I'm literally. We'll see how long this lasts. I'm going on probably 3 weeks now, but I've been going real hard at the Duolingo because I made a commitment to myself that I would be going to Japan for my 40th birthday. Hopefully that's still the case. But trying. So needless to say, I love Japanese shit. But I also do think I want to point out that it is incredibly impressive. I'm gonna say if they hit Fable and Forza in the same year. I mean, Fable is one of those properties right now. Fable is the Xbox version of Wolverine. Like, we just need to see it again. Like, I don't think it's dead, but why haven't I seen it? And you guys announced it a little too early. But that being said, it's been, when it comes out next year, this will be 5 years between Horizon games, which if you look at all the previous ones, I think there was 3 years between 4 and 5 and then 2 years between all the previous ones. Right. Granted, this was when they were just going back and forth between Horizon and Motorsport, and if they're taking on a project like Fable, you would expect that gap to increase. But I think 5 years, I mean, we're more than ready for it. Forza Horizon 5 was like a 92 Metacritic when it came out. It's a critical darling. It's a sales darling. I believe Forza Horizon 5 has sold really well on PlayStation. Also, it's like in the millions.
Yeah, I think it was like 5 million.
Yeah, which is insane and well worth it. But I'm pumped for this. It's going to be one of those games I'm not going to think about at all until it's like, oh shit, that's like here soon.
Right.
But it's also just, I mean, I think it's a great father-son game too. My son dug Forza Horizon 5 a lot. I mean, what little boy doesn't like really fast cars that I can jump off of ramps and have him soar hundreds of feet through the air? So, it's cool.
Okay. All right, and then moving on to our final.
Oh, sorry, real quick. They have said that Forza Horizon 6 will be Xbox first, and then probably about 6 months after till the PlayStation.
Which is weird.
It is weird.
Weird.
At this point, why bother? But
yeah, I mean, if it's going to come anyway, if you're going to do it, maximize.
Your player counts.
Yeah, that and just your marketing, your lead up to the game's release. Well, like the apex is usually, but I don't know. I mean, again, as we just mentioned, Forza sold so well on PlayStation well after the fact, after it released, that maybe it just doesn't matter.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can kind of control a little bit of a narrative through 2 release cycles as opposed to one giant one, and maybe they see more value with that, or want to just continue to try and not completely isolate the people who are still on Microsoft. Although if I was one of those people, I would be looking at you very side-eyed. But
that, and as we just mentioned, Playground Games is busy right now. They got a lot of projects in the fire, so maybe they just don't have the bandwidth to do the PlayStation 5 version at the same time. So
that's a fair point. That's a fair point.
All right, can I move on now?
552 people. Yes, you can move on.
All right, our final news story. I don't want to really get too much into the reviews because we're gonna play it. Ghost of Yotei's review embargo is up, even though the game's out October 2nd. It is sitting at a phenomenal 88 on OpenCritic, doing much better than the previous game. And so we can check in on our pop bet. And we lock it in.
You should have just stuck with the original pop bet for Hell Is Us, man. So just stuck it there. You would have had the win.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, let me just do another one. And then you gave me 2 more.
Yeah. But, again, as with the other one and the one before that, is we're on target.
Yeah. Yeah, we're good at it.
Maybe we if you're listening and you want some mock reviews for your video game and you want to pay me and John to do it for you, we'll get your review score pretty accurately.
You can also pay me in pizza if that, that's fine too.
Okay. Well,
hey, I'm
John's
starting
cheap.
low. Listen, I'm right. You and I aren't the top tier prostitutes right now, Nick. All right, we
That's
are.
true.
We are low
That's
tier.
true.
We need to get what we can get.
But yeah, no. Again, congrats, John. You win your pop. I think we'll stop this for now. We'll see if another game is worth swinging at. I just couldn't think of.
Well, one that might be fun, even though neither of us will play it, neither of us care about it. But I don't know where I'll land. Is Battlefield 6 might be a fun one to do that with. And see how close we can get with that, even though we don't know much about it.
All right, is that what you want to do?
No. Just mull it over. Just put it in the back of your head. I mean, we're still a little bit out from that. So
okay. I mean, I have an idea, but I mean, you kind of
I don't
deflated me earlier today when you said the
people said
impressions
the
of the
not
campaign were not great. So
yeah, well, we'll see.
But yeah, we're going to talk some Battlefield later in the show anyway. But
I do want to say while we're here, I don't know if you're ready to move on, but also getting its full 1.0 release scores this week was Hades 2.
I don't even want to think about it.
Well, it
bums me out.
Well, you're gonna. It's sitting at a 92 right now. It was all the way up to a 94, but people say it's everything Hades 1 was and better.
Yeah,
which is stupid.
Yeah, the only complaint I've heard is if you were like John and you played the fuck out of Hades 1, you might be a little burnt out because it's a lot similar. So,
yeah,
but
yes, if I played it 6 months ago,
right?
I'm ready.
Yeah, no, I again
I've heard the combat's slower and a little more calculated. That's like the biggest difference I've heard.
But again, with the John and I wanting to play this on PlayStation, so we're gonna wait. I don't know where it's fitting next year, and as we'll get into with the state of play, there's a lot of other games that are all planting their flag, and
do not. Luckily for me, there's only like a 2-week window I would not want, and that's between March 20th. We'll tell you why in a little bit, and 2 weeks after that. As long as it's not in that window, I'm cool.
2 weeks after that, okay.
I don't know. I'm just saying maybe I'll play that. I'll play that game that's coming out that date a lot longer than 2 weeks, but at least I could be like 2 weeks with it, and then like,
right, yeah.
So.
Okay.
But yeah.
And then before we can finally get into the state of play, John, Silksong check-in.
Sure.
Where are you at?
How we doing?
How many hours? I there is one thing you have to mention.
How easy it is?
No, the opposite of that.
Yes. All right. So I am 29 and a half hours in.
Holy shit, dude.
I have completed my credits run. I think people know that there's a lot of video games out there where you kind of roll credits, but that's not the true ending of the game, right? Where there's more to do. Hollow Knight is very much one of those. The first one was also. So I've beaten the final boss, but Act 3 awaits. And so I'm kind of at a little bit of an impasse right now. I don't know how I want to tackle this because I am absolutely at one day going to have this platinum, but I'm wondering if this might be a similar Hollow Knight, the first game situation where I got the platinum years and years after I first played it.
Right.
Reason is that, there is no Pantheon yet for this game, which is the infamous thing that I did with Hollow Knight where you have to beat all the bosses in a row that took me forever. But you do have to get a 100% playthrough under 30 hours. And like I just mentioned, I got 29 and a half hours through just this first little bit. And there's a lot of things I don't have. There's a lot of fleas to rescue, a lot of mask shards to get, and it's right now, as it stands, a kind of intimidating thing to want to try and do because I also did buy Borderlands. Stay tuned for more on that. And with Ghost coming out, it seems like it might be a silly thing to do right now. But back to the game. It is absolutely fantastic. I'm going to feel comfortable enough to review it. It is a 10, stays at a 10. Everything that this game did, I think, is top tier. Art, movement, characters, even story is like this weird, it fits into that Souls category where it's a little bit nebulous and you kind of have to dig a little bit, but incredibly well thought out, and I just love everything about it, the music. But as Nick was referencing, and as the entire internet has referenced for a couple months, is it too hard? Is this game a little unbalanced? And to that I say yes, but with a caveat.
Oh boy.
I don't think by any stretch of the imagination it's unfair in any way. The one infamous spot, and I'm going to correct myself on something I said on the podcast maybe 2 or 3 weeks back, is that I thought I was at the boss that everybody was complaining about the run back with, which was the last judge, which is the final boss of Act 1. And that was not a bad run back. Well, I got later in the game to the infamous area that everybody knows as Bile Water, and there is the craziest run back ever. Where... And it's not just a run back of length. It's like mean. It's you start in this area, and when you are familiar with the world of Hollow Knight, you can kind of expect a couple benches in each area. Right. They're not going to immediately be next to the boss, but they'll be dispersed around so you can kind of, not have too horrible a time. Well, in this one, you're going through, and it's a poison area, and without going into specifics, poison areas just always suck. There's always an extra element that you got to deal with. And you get halfway through this run back, and you find a bench. And you're like, cool, found a bench. You sit on the bench, and it drops you into another area. That it's a fake bench. It's not real. It drops you into a poison area. You get poisoned, and you realize, like, oh, crap, I thought I was halfway. This is the halfway point to the next bench. So I figure out my pathway through that. Again, reminiscent of why I love Hollow Knight, because it was a thing that I was like, okay, this is hard, this is hard, this is hard. I figured it out, and I can get through my entire run back without getting hit now. It's great, right? That's why I love this game, is because you learn everything you need to do, and then if you can just execute it, you got it. Well, you get to the end of that run back, and it's a gauntlet room. And we've talked about gauntlet rooms on the show. It's basically you're getting wave after wave of enemies. It's fine, whatever. Cool, okay, I got a gauntlet room, I'll deal with that. Well, not only is it a gauntlet room, you finish the gauntlet, and then the boss comes out after that, so it's adding all of these little things into this one area that kind of makes you question, like, come on, guys, like, you should have rolled one of these backs. Whether you wanted to put a real bench in there, have a checkpoint after the gauntlet, before the boss, I don't know, but it seemed a little unbalanced in that one specific area. Now, that specific area is completely optional. That doesn't justify or excuse poor game design, but I do think what I'm trying to say is anybody who's like, saying this game is less than anything but great because it's just too hard or too unbalanced, I disagree entirely with that statement. Bile Water is, yes. But
yeah, I want you to apologize to the internet.
No, I will not. I will not because nobody's as nuanced as your boy. But, there's a lot of other bosses. Savage Beastfly's one. Everybody's like, oh, there's literally a subreddit dedicated to this thing about, like, fuck the Savage Beastfly. Again, like, not hard at all, not a big deal. This is a minor little thing, but I've always talked about how, like, it's hard for me to judge this game because I'm so familiar with all the systems, right? And going back to the Bile Water conversation and the internet and everybody hating on that specific area, well, I found this spot in that run back where I could go room to room, and every time I would leave the room and come back immediately, these couple small, tiny little two-shot enemies would arrive. I could do that repeatedly. So if you know how the game works and you're paying attention, you can use that effectively as a bench. It's going to take you about 45 seconds as for a bench, right? But you can refill your health. You can do all this stuff. And I guess what I'm just trying to say is, like, Hollow Knight is special because of the amount of things that the amount of ways you're able to tackle a scenario. Do you want to just go through and brute force it? Sure. There's you can skip bosses entirely in this game. There's hidden pathways into different zones that will allow you to do that.
You have options.
There's so many options, and yeah. I think that a lot of people just kind of jumped into it, not really understanding the breadth that a game like this has, or the genre can have. And for that reason, I will not apologize, but yeah, haven't quite decided what I want to do going forward. I will get the platinum in this game, absolutely 100%. At some point in my life, it just might not be immediately. So I got to decide what I want to do here. But it is fan-freaking-tastic. If you're a fan of the first game, if you like Metroidvanias, pick it up. You won't be disappointed. It is tough, but you can do it.
Okay, so and we're still at that 10. This is a 10 for John.
Easily. Yes.
Okay.
It is the most 10 game there is.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, there you go. All right. Well, let's move on finally and get into the state of play. I'm sure everyone's eager to hear
fucking
about.
asked,
Yeah,
right?
I know. But before we get there, we want to hear from you. You can write in at betweenthejoysticks@gmail.com. You can DM us on Twitter. Our Twitter handle is @joystickspod, or you can comment on our YouTube videos. That's at Between the Joysticks. We want to know your thoughts on video games, the state of play, whatever you feel like. Write in and you'll be heard on this show. So here we are, John. We're on the other side of that state of play that we predicted in episode 151.
Hello from the
And we can start with our reviews of the show itself. And
Are you
then
sure
we
you're
can
going to be able
get
to not just immediately jump to the end of the state of play? Like, can you handle that?
I'm gonna do my best. All right. I'm gonna do my best.
Okay.
But I'll let you lead here. What did you think about this state of play? 35 minutes. Seems like about 30 games.
30 games. I mean, that number's shocking,
Maybe.
but you're probably not too far off. There's always a lot of stuff packed into these. Yeah, I thought that this was just incredibly well bookended. Is I think the best way to put it.
Yes.
You couldn't really ask for two better bookends at this moment. Maybe Intergalactic for me would be something I'd rather see than one of these two. But starting off and ending with two first-party games, both of which we knew about, but so little about either of them.
Yeah, never saw a gameplay.
To get a date for one of them, to see an extended gameplay session for one of them is fantastic. I still have a lot of questions about. Can we say what the show ended with? Okay,
of
cool.
course. Everyone knows at this point.
Wolverine ended the show, right? And so I still have a lot of questions. I mean, it was much more of a kind of a cinematic trailer. But, I think everything they've shown looks great. And we have some big questions that are answered. But I did think that a lot of the middle parts of the state of play were weak to very weak. And that's not to say they were bad entirely. I mean, whenever anybody puts these shows together, they're not trying to appease they're not trying to make every person watching it go, whoa, 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 back to, right? They want to make sure there's a couple things in there for you. So whether that's a Deus Ex remaster, or whether that's, this weird new, the Disco Elysium team's new game, there is stuff in there, but I don't think anybody's going to go front to back with it and be like, dude, that was like sick front to bottom. Like that was not this one. There's some anime shit. There's, Microsoft Flight Simulator, a lot of stuff for specific people, but, bookended incredibly well.
Yeah. I mean, and we'll just say right up front, right? We loved Returnal, right? I mean, my guess is your most anticipated was Saros is what, number 3 behind Hollow Knight and Hades?
Yep.
So there you go. Yep. And I'm very hyped for it too, as a huge fan of Returnal. And then obviously Wolverine is my number 2 most anticipated game. So when you have a showcase that focuses largely on those two things, it's gonna be pretty high on our list. And I agree with you. I think the whole entire middle of the show was pretty weak, but we did get a lot of release dates. Like, who would have thought we would know a game coming out next year, September, a year from now, with the Halloween game? And I always like that. I like starting to plan out next year and release dates, and everyone just kind of just knowing where everything's going to land is a good feeling.
I didn't even realize that about the Halloween game. I think I just saw September and just assumed it's quick.
Yeah.
It's here.
No.
I didn't realize that was next year.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's probably the farthest game out that has an actual date.
Gotta be. Yeah, because it's probably gonna be ready in March, but they're like, save it for October. Like, there's no it's like releasing Hocus Pocus in July, like Disney did. Stupid.
Yeah, but no, I think it was fine. There was a little bit of everything. Yeah, there's some lulls. There's some games that didn't show as well, but I do think it was a solid state of play. I think it's continuing. It's continuing their tradition where their first party games are the ones that are really knocking it out, right? Like, I remember the state of play that had Astrobot was very weak, but the ending was Astrobot being announced and shown, and that trailer was incredible. And that's the same thing here. I mean, Saros showed incredibly well, Wolverine showed incredibly well, and then just everything else is like, yeah, if it was for me, okay. Mm-hmm. But if it's not, oh well. Yep. So what are you going to give it, John?
As a show, C+.
Wow.
Yeah, C+.
Wow, that dropped a lot.
I mean, listen, Saros is going to be awesome. But as we'll get into when we talk about it a little bit, I mean, nothing about it was surprising. Nothing about it was
but it's just
mind blowing. And so I'm happy about it. I'm going to buy it day one and play the shit out of it. But I'm going to get that platinum too. You fucking watch.
Good luck.
But again, I think the middle was pretty rough.
Okay.
So just evaluating it as a whole, if it didn't have those two, it'd be a D- type thing. So
of course,
that's why
course.
I'm going there.
All right. Yeah, I'm giving it a B. I think, a state of play where you get 2 Sony first-party games, I mean, you're a little spoiled. I mean, we've been getting one for so long that it's nice. And like I said, these weren't just like a 5-second trailer. These were extended looks at the game. And in Wolverine's case, a lot of the developers talking about the process for getting that game made. And so, yeah, man. It was solid. It was solid. Our Twitter poll was, again, some salty boys, but there were some A's in there. It was a 39% A, 39% D, and then 11% for B and C. So, a polarizing state of play. Yeah, if you don't like Wolverine or Saros, you're not in a great place on this show.
I imagine there's a lot of people out there that have no interest in anything Housemarque does, which is fair.
Yeah.
So I get it.
Yeah, perfect. All right, let's get into the announcements. And as John predicted,
that's right.
They kicked it right off with 5 minutes of Saros. We got a extended look at the game. Again, just like Returnal, third person, bullet hell, roguelike, different protagonist, different world. The world's called Carcosa. A couple interesting takeaways is it sounds like you build your loadout before you leave, which was not in Returnal. In Returnal, you just kind of started out the same, and then you had to pick up, the Hollow Seeker and play through the game and get all your resources procured on the run. But it sounds like this game will let you kind of pick your loadout, pick your abilities, and then one of the abilities they showed was kind of just like a second life, like you die and you can come back. And they said that is once you find and unlock that ability, that is something you can always start your run with. So it looks like there'll probably be a bunch of similar abilities. I wonder if there are any like negative takeaways, because it does seem if you die and you're able to bring yourself back, that's pretty powerful. Like, why wouldn't you want that? Mm-hmm. So I'm curious if there is like drawbacks, like what are the other abilities that you can take with you if you're taking this with you? Like, is there going to be like point allocation and this is like you have 20 points to play with, and this is like an 18-point ability.
Yeah,
it's like, I can't bring anything else on my run if I do
like,
that.
What Lumina's in Expedition 33?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think so, and I trust Housemarque to be, pretty astute when it comes to balancing out this thing out properly. But I also think of games like Hades, though, right? Like Hades that was just a thing you bought as you progress through, right? Where you just, the game I would imagine is going to be just as hard as Returnal, where you're going to die a lot, and so I think. If Returnal had any specific complaints, it was people saying it took a little bit too long to get through the whole thing, and it was too fucking hard for some people.
Well,
so,
there were like difficulty spikes. There were like,
you
had to get past, I forget, on your first run, you had to get
3.
past the third stage. And then on the second half, it was the 5th stage, the ice biome. That was like it's like, oh, I got through that. Then you're just off to the races and beating the game. So
I mean, I think like if as long as they keep the level of difficulty high, so that the feeling of accomplishment is there, whether you have a restart or not. I think that's something that they can balance out, because the other thing that they have to figure out also, and the other main difference that I see from this one in Returnal, is the shield, addition of the shield as well. And so I was reading some people talk about how they were like disappointed that there's a shield, because like, well, am I just going to be able to just kind of walk through every level holding the shield and I don't have to worry about getting hurt? It's like, no, man, there's going to be enemies that can disable your shield. There's going to be like, maybe some sort of timer on it, or it can only get hit so much. So it's just going to be another thing that you have to balance out. And
that is equipment too, I think. So I think that's something you can bring, but there might be something better or something more that you like more than that shield ability. But it looked cool as fuck.
Yeah. And I mean,
especially in a bullet hell when you can absorb bullets and and I think it did something. Like it would absorb the shots, and I think you could shoot them back out.
It would increase the power of your shots.
Okay.
Like, so it was kind of like a enhancement.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I fully expect this to be, if you like Returnal, this is Returnal 2. This is Returnal 2 with the caveat that we couldn't call it Returnal 2 because we wanted a new location with a new protagonist.
Right.
That's fine. But because at first I will admit I was a little disappointed by how similar it looked, and the more I thought about it, though, I was like, no, I'm way cool with it because, I did enjoy Returnal so much that just getting more of that is, I'm honestly perfect with it. But, because at first it was like, God, the level design's the same, the map's the same, the health even looks like it has the thing where you can increase it, like even the way that the characters talked, it sounded like Celine talking to herself.
Right.
So, but yeah, I think that this one's going to be awesome. March 20th, getting a date.
Yeah.
Huge.
And it's like, yeah.
Nick called this one.
Yeah, 5 years from the Returnal, so it's been a minute for this.
Is it 5 years exactly, or was it?
Yeah, it was early 2021.
So I'm wondering if it was March or February. Can't remember. Yeah, but anything else to say about it? I don't think so. It's very brown.
Yeah,
very brown. But I expect different biomes and things as well. So.
Yeah. But I mean, we were just talking about, like, I don't buy a game every month, but here we are now looking February at Resident Evil 9, into March, Returnal, and then, like, yeah, if Hades 2 is like an April game, into Grand Theft Auto, it's pretty gnarly.
Yeah, and yeah, there'll be others.
And we'll talk about the other games that got release dates here. But okay. All right, next up, we got to look at the next game from the Disco Elysium maker, ZA/UM, Zero Parades for Dead Spies. So Disco Elysium is well, you describe it.
Sure.
You played more of it than I did.
So Disco Elysium is an RPG where there's no combat involved, but you're effectively allocating points, and your skills are based on different personality traits. And there's a lot of dice or rolls of the dice and skill checks and things like that. You're not meant to, succeed in every encounter, but that's part of the charm, right? It's a narrative adventure. You're reading a lot, but Disco Elysium is ranked as IGN's 10th greatest game of all time, right? This game shines from its story and its writing. And the people who get into it, pal of the show Jake was one of them, absolutely adore it. I've tried hard to get into it. Nick's tried to get into it. It's not a full bounce off for me. It's still there. It's still worming its way. I want to get back to it at some point. I don't know if I will, but.
Well, it was funny. I heard someone talking about this, and they were like, well, if you like Citizen Sleeper, you'd like Disco Elysium in this game. And I was like, oh, fuck.
I think Disco Elysium...
I just played Citizen Sleeper and loved it.
Yeah, Disco Elysium, I think, is a game for you where if you just played at the right time, you're gonna
right.
love it.
And I couldn't get out of, like, the first hour. So it's just one of those games I think I got to just, if I get into it enough, it'll be like 1 to 100, like addiction.
Yep. You need that one day, that one rainy Sunday where you have nothing going on. You can do 6 to 8 hours with it and then really start, familiarizing yourself.
I might download it.
You should. But there is a huge thing with this game, right? So there is a lot of drama with this studio specifically, and I did a little bit of research just to make sure I get this right, but I'm just going to read verbatim. But back in 2021, Robert Kurvitz, Alexander Rostov, and Helen Hindpier were involuntarily ousted from ZA/UM in late 2021, followed by Martin Luiga, a co-founder in October 2022, who stated that the core team left the company for involuntary reasons. Kurvitz, Rostov, and Hindpier were the lead designer, art director, and writer, respectively, for Disco Elysium. Their departure led to the formation of Red Info, a new studio founded by Kurvitz and Rostov, and they are currently in a legal battle with ZA/UM over the rights of the Elysium IP. That's to say, this game still has to prove. They have to prove themselves again in a weird way, right? You would think that the follow-up game from a 10th greatest game of all time from IGN would be like it's a guaranteed thing, and it looks good. It looks like it is. It looks, the art style. that's why I kind of wanted to check, because I was like, oh, I bet the art team's there. And it's like, that's weird. Like, oh, I guess they're not. But obviously they're going to take the inspirations. But as I said earlier, Disco Elysium shines from its writing. Like, from the very jump of that game, and your brain is talking to you in this, like, it's like like the character is your reptilian brain or whatever.
Right.
He talks all squeak. It's like it's like immediately I was like, oh, I like this. And so they gotta be able to do that side of it again, and that's the hardest side of any game. So got my eye on this one. Definitely waiting for reviews. Even if it reviews well, it's probably gonna be another Disco Elysium scenario where I go, I don't know, but
right
looks cool.
Yeah. No release date for that one, just sometime next year.
Yep.
Good luck. All right, next up we got the announcement that Microsoft Flight Simulator is coming to PS5 on December 8th, and they're looking with a update for PSVR 2 coming later.
Yeah.
So this is a known quantity. I don't really have much to add, but yeah, another one of the
I wish I could.
The Microsoft exclusives coming over to PlayStation.
I'm a travel junkie that doesn't get to travel, so you'd think this would be a way for me to be like, oh, cool, but it's just so slow, and but a really really neat product nonetheless.
Okay, all right. Next up, Battlefield 6. We got to look at the campaign mode with a trailer. As John mentioned, it sounds impressions on the campaign aren't great, but we predicted this to be here. Because I mean, this game is October 10th, I think. And so we had to get a look at this campaign eventually. And, the hype is high on this game, after 2 successful open beta weekends. This is, they're looking to take Call of Duty's lunch, but, not much more to add than that, other than I thought the campaign looked flashy. It looked like the campaign I want from these games, and not like the Call of Duty campaign trailers we've been getting.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not. I wish I could remember whose impressions I saw, because it was definitely a known quantity. But yeah, I'm reading it now. It says it's only going to have 9 missions, be between 4 and 6 hours. So it's one of those, right, where it seems like, okay, the 95% of the effort of this product went towards multiplayer, as it should for something like this.
Right.
But yeah, I wouldn't expect a Titanfall 2 level campaign ahead of you.
And I think they do these campaigns so they don't have to answer why it's not free to play. When you got to plump down $70 and then get all the free to play trappings. I think it's an easier pill to swallow when you're like, oh, okay, I get the campaign too. So
right.
All right, moving on. Aspire.
Aspire.
The studio that keeps bringing games, PlayStation 1 level games. They did all the Tomb Raider 1 through 6, and tons and tons of older games. Next up is Deus Ex. They're bringing the original game back. It was a kind of a slick trailer where they showed like the old game merging into the new game, and it looked like a solid
I heard you
upgrade.
go. I heard that.
Yeah,
I heard you go.
I've never played it, so maybe, I don't know.
I mean, it is a legendary game,
right? It's coming February 5th, and I don't know, another game to keep your eye on.
That one I feel like it's I'm sure it's great, but you can make it look pretty. I feel like it's still gonna feel pretty dated.
Yeah,
which is fine. It came out in 2000, 90 Metacritic score. People love it, but I think it's one of the, like, if you were to ever make like kind of a what are the most influential games of all time, it would be one of the ones you'd be like, really? But then you'd be like, yeah, it basically is like the first choice based thing.
Right.
Like,
it was a sim.
Yeah, where you're gonna have different outcomes based on the things you've done through different parts of your playthrough. And like, how did that make its way through? So, really important game, but yeah, I mean, good for people who want to play.
Sure.
Like you.
Maybe. We'll see.
No, you said, that means you're committed now.
Okay.
You're committed.
Next up, we got another look at the Halloween game from Ilphonic, just recently announced at Gamescom. We got to see more of it. They talk about the mechanics, which unshockingly is like their previous games, like Friday the 13th, or Killer Clowns from Outer Space, or Predator Hunting Grounds. Asymmetric, for young teens. young adults.
Four horny teens.
Yeah, pretty much taking on Michael Myers. It sounds like you got to rescue people though in this, which is a different mechanic than Friday the 13th had. But yeah, they went and dated it for next year, September 8th. Yeah, a game to keep an eye on. I loved Friday the 13th. It was
I like the
dumb in
mechanic
all the fun ways.
where you could effectively just disappear and pop out.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that's perfect for Michael Myers. I mean, Michael Myers, in my opinion, is the slasher guy. He's classic. I love the movie. I do, I was talking about this yesterday. I just, these games, like you loved Friday the 13th. I've heard other people that do. This one looks cool. It's just I feel like every single one of them, with the exception of maybe Friday the 13th, dies 3 months after the fact. So it's, I kind of wish Ilphonic would get a little more risky. Like what else can we do besides the 1 versus 4? Also, why haven't you done Alien yet? Maybe you don't have the. But I wish it was a little more than just.
A friend of ours made a great point. Is like, why isn't there this just one game, right? Like one launcher that brings you into all these horror franchises, like a Dead by Daylight, like other games of this ilk, and these are just like additions. It's like, oh, okay, now I can play Killer Clowns, whatever, but I'm gonna play Friday the 13th, and then I'm gonna play Halloween and other horror franchises that they're just not building a single platform for all these different game modes. But interesting. All right. Well, that one's a ways off, so
yeah,
we'll check back in on that one. All right. Next up is a fantasy ARPG called Last Epoch. That's apparently been out for a long time, but
6
now
years.
is coming to PlayStation 5 finally. I don't think they gave it a date, did they? Or is this already on PlayStation 5? I don't know.
No, it doesn't look like it.
I've never heard of this game.
Yeah, like you said, it came out in 2019. So not, and I don't even know if it came to PlayStation when it was released. Sorry, I'm doing a little bit of.
You're good.
Googling about it. It just says coming confirmed, so I don't think there's.
I mean, it looks like Diablo. It looks like Path of Exiles. Mm-hmm. It looks like another one of those. A isometric, character-driven loot game of some kind.
Yeah, got an 81, so it's it's not shit.
No, I mean one of the scenes they're battling like on top of a giant bird. That was pretty wild while it was mid-flight.
It looked cool. It's just like, I mean, it's. I don't think this game's going to surprise anybody in any other way than what you can kind of see if you just immediately look at it. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Very. And this is where it gets really like, oh boy.
Yeah. So
the
sorry,
lull
guys,
of the
we
show.
don't have a lot to say.
Yep. We got another look at 7 Deadly Sins Origin. This is the Netflix anime. This looks like a
open world RPG.
Yep. This is coming to PS5 on January 28th. We can move on.
Yep.
Next up, Sonic Racing Crossworlds is getting a Mega Man DLC pack, as that game seems to just get all the licensed properties.
Yeah, I mean this seems like the most threatening anybody's been towards Mario Kart in a while.
Right.
So it's good.
Yeah. They've gotten Minecraft, they've gotten Pac-Man. Why not Mega Man? So that continues on. Next up, we got another look at Neo 3. It is coming February 6th. This is Koei Tecmo's Souls-like franchise that has been very successful. It is probably one of the more well-reviewed franchises that I've tried to imitate From Software's Soul series.
I will admit, I tried Neo 1, and every time I see Neo 3, I go, this just doesn't look like Neo 2. It just looks more like Samurai or Dynasty Warriors and Ninja Gaiden had a baby. They review great, so I mean, good for them. It doesn't look like how I remember Neo being.
Right. Well, I've seen like Donkey play Neo and how hard and mystical and crazy big bosses, but every time this game's shown, it seems very grounded.
Yeah, action, way more fast-paced action stuff. I don't know. But yeah, February 6th for that one.
Okay.
My son's birthday. Maybe he'll get it.
Here you go.
Here you go,
Beat
son.
this game.
Play this. Dad, I want Roblox.
Next up, Dynasty Warriors 3 is getting a remaster.
Finally. Oh, thank God. Thank God.
I've waited 24 years for this.
As someone who's played Dynasty Warrior games, probably maybe have played this. I don't know if this must be the really good one.
Does there have to be a really good one?
Why this one? Why
know,
3 of the? I think they're up to 8 or 9. I think Origins is 8 or 9.
Hold on, let's do a little quick Metacritic. Hang with me, people. Dynasty Warriors. Okay. So 4 had a 78. 3 had a 78. 2 had a 75. No, they're all the same, Nick. They're all the same.
Okay.
Every game's the exact same.
All right, fair enough. Yeah, March 19th. This is coming.
Honestly, the highest reviewed one is the one that just came out, Origins.
Yeah.
For PS5.
Yeah, why would you just go play that?
Mm-hmm.
Next up was Code Vein 2, Bandai Namco's anime-inspired Souls-like. There's a sequel to the original game. The original game has a demo. I remember trying it and be like, "Yep, that's another Souls game."
Yep.
Not my thing, but this is coming January 30th of next year.
Yeah, firmly in the "I don't have time for you." Sorry category.
Free-to-play game Let It Die was up next, and it's getting a sequel coming this December.
You said you played it, so I'll let you take this one. I don't know.
I played it for like 30 minutes, and I hated it. It was really bad, and if you look at this, you would think the same way. And again, this is the same studio that you guys are all interested in their other game, right?
Romeo Must Die.
Romeo Must Die.
I mean, I'm not really that interested.
Okay,
Yeah.
maybe. I'm looking at you side-eyed. I thought you said you were interested.
I mean, I mentioned that. I think I mentioned, is this Romeo Must Die during the
okay.
state of play, but
again, yeah, this is so Grasshopper is the developer, and no, they make very weird games, but they play terribly.
yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah,
no
I
more
love
heroes.
that.
yeah, no more heroes is one of them, and yeah, they're just not fun to play. I can't stand them. But okay, we can move on. A new announcement here. ChronoScript: The Endless End. This is got a very unique art style. It's like the pages of a book, and so it has a kind of like a paper feel to it and a paper animation to it. But it looks like it to be a 2D. I want to say it's a Metroidvania.
I think it is. I mean, they talk about it as a 2D. I think side scroller.
Right.
But a lot of times people just say that for
Right.
many things.
Right.
But it looks like a Metroidvania to me for sure.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Interesting art. I'm not kind of sold on it. I don't think it looks that good.
I want to love it so bad. Like I want to. I just I feel like you could fix it with a very simple touch, which is just you got to make the outlines of things better.
Right.
Because I'm worried that with I think they described it as like pen drawn or it's like pencil drawn or something.
Oh, boy.
So it's got a lot of lines going through things. So there's a lot of noise, and I just worry that if you make a Metroidvania that I like, the fast-paced kind of ones, it's like I'm gonna get lost in the noise. But I do really want to like it, and I like the idea that there's like these ink blots that kind of connect different pages, and it seems like you can travel through the ink blots.
Right.
Hopefully that doesn't add too much of a like maze-like quality to it, because if I have to start like worried about navigating, then I'm you kind of lost me. But it's one to keep an eye on if they can nail a lot of things about it.
Shueisha Games. I don't think I've ever seen
the way the developers were talking about it. They seem like a new team.
Okay.
New team is because they were talking about things like we're committed to this development. Don't worry, we're gonna see it too. Like they were saying things like it's like give us a chance, guys. We got we'll make a good game for you. So hopefully they do.
Okay. All right. Next up, we get another look at Crimson Desert, a game we've seen a lot. It was announced a long time ago. This is the Pearl Abyss action RPG that lets you do like 300 different things. It looks like a cross between The Witcher and Zelda Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom with how many different things you can do. And Pearl Abyss is the maker of
Black Desert.
Yep. Wow, right off the top of your head.
I'm the best.
Are you a secret Black Desert player?
I just have only room in my brain for nonsense.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's finally coming out though. That's kind of the good news. I'm kind of interested in how this game will do. But March 19th of next year. That's unfortunate timing with Saros, but
Yeah.
what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
So there's one game I'm definitely getting, and this one game will have to wait if it is good. But
People are like, it's the greatest thing since Witcher 3, and you're like, no, no. Yeah, this one I appreciate the breadth of the things they're trying to do. I am just very much, the best analogy I can make is I like restaurants that when I go there, they do 2 or 3 things really well,
right,
and not the menu a mile long. So hopefully they can do all that they're setting out to do, and it's effective and good and fun. But this one's sends off a couple red flags for me, a little bit.
Yeah. I'm with you. I'm side eyeing this one. We'll see.
Yeah.
But no, it's been in development for quite a while.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I don't know why we didn't predict this, but Sony is always bringing hardware at these September state of plays, and here we are
What are you
again.
going to predict? Oh, they're going to have a new speaker.
Yeah, desktop speaker.
Yeah, what are you going to predict?
Well, I would just generally say some kind of new hardware, but they're doing a Pulse Elevate wireless desktop speakers. The tech looked kind of neat. I mean, they sit on like little charging bases, and that can connect to your computer, and then you can disconnect them, and you can pair them with multiple devices, so you can have it with your PC and then your PlayStation, and it uses the same dongle that the Pulse headset uses, but now that's USB-C. That's kind of neat.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought these look pretty slick. I mean, if I was a PC gamer, I mean, they look, it remains to be seen what the Digital Foundry analysis of these things are. But
yeah, they have a built-in microphone too, so you can.
Yeah. I thought you can pair them with your Portal, which I thought was.
Yeah.
Now I was thinking about laying in bed and putting a speaker on my wife's nightstand and
That
my
was
nightstand, and just like, oh, this would be cool. But I don't know. Not much to say. No price or anything. I would imagine these things are going to be on the pricier end, probably $250 or $300. But
and as someone who uses either my Pulse headset or my TV speakers, I don't know. These might be kind of interesting if they are good.
If they review well, and yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'd keep an eye on them, but no price, no date, just coming sometime next year. But no, they look like slick hardware, and I always have to give it to Sony. Everything, the earbuds, the Portal, all their tech is nice.
And I love. I mean, I am a big proponent with Sony going hard at the PC industry right now. Like I love. I don't, anybody who's out there just like, oh, they're, stealing our games on PC. It's like, you can shut up. All this does is get more money into the company to allow us to get the things we want. So I like this continued push. It was the monitors last year. What are they called? Those in zones, I think, maybe. And now you got these. Hopefully we'll start seeing quicker games come to PC. But it's all good all around. I like it.
Mm-hmm. 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 But one thing that Sony has not been doing so well is these limited edition controllers. This time it is God of War, and it's the most boring design.
It feels disrespectful. Like, this is arguably your most iconic character.
Right.
And your solution is to take a 2-inch wide red brush and just paint down the side of one.
Yeah.
It's a little lazy.
Well, what would you have done for God of War?
I mean, they already have the God of War controller, right? Like that light blue one with the wolf and stuff. I don't know, man. I'm not a designer. I was that kid that would draw stick figures until I was a full-grown man. But I don't know. I think I don't have. I'm not creative.
Right.
I'm not creative at all. But not that.
Yeah. It's just boring and not.
I mean, you could even figure out some way to make it doesn't have to be all white. I mean, I get why you did that because Kratos, goes to Sparta, all that stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, it's pretty weak.
Yeah, I mean, I like that they're doing this. I've never even outside of the Astrobot one, just never been tempted to like.
And I know
it's
probably a lot.
I want to be tempted.
There's probably a lot of investment. You got to probably spin up a new lab, new warehouse, whatever. But goddamn, you guys have so much money left on the table from people like Nick and I that if we could design our own shit, we would have 15 of these fuckers.
Right.
Just but whatever.
And at this point, did you think we were going to see the 2D
100%.
God of War.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
Yeah, I thought so too. I was like, oh, well, they cannot be talking about this and not go right into that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It almost seems like there's some sort of obfuscation happening with like God of War leakers, right? Because at first it was, oh, they're doing the remaster of the original trilogy, and like that was like a surefire rumor for a while, right? And then that didn't happen, and then the surefire rumor that for the last 2 events was 2.5 Metroidvania God of War. I would say that still seems to be happening, but like, why? Where are these signals getting crossed? Because this is not a new game of a franchise I love with a game style I love.
Right.
So, oh well.
Yeah.
I got my Metroidvania itch scratched for a little bit.
Yeah, and I still, again, this was a rumor. It was a strong rumor, and that's why we keep bringing it up.
Yeah.
But it is kind of a bummer that it just is not showing up. But Sony just.
I mean, dude, it could be something as simple as like, look, we have it ready to go. Again, we're just not going to show it 2 weeks after Silksong came out. I don't know.
Right.
Maybe.
Right. And Ghost is out next week. We know what the next Sony first party game is, and with Saros, so
it might make more sense for Game Awards.
Yeah,
that could
exactly.
be a big Game Awards thing.
And then be some kind of be their summer game.
Yeah.
With Wolverine finishing in fall. But all right, we're here now.
That's it.
Yeah. Yep. Let's just hang it up. Thanks for listening. We love you out there. No. They had to show something big, as we talked about in our predictions episode. They have ended every show State of Play with a big announcement. And I have to say, this has been a long time coming.
Yeah.
Marvel's Wolverine was announced in September of 2021, and we have never seen it since. And as a gigantic fan of Insomniac, as a gigantic X-Men fan, that's torture, man. That is very torturous.
Yeah. You're talking to a Silksong fan, my dude.
Yeah, exactly. yeah. Because us gamers, we're really masochists sometimes, especially when you're like following this stuff.
We have no choice. What else are we supposed to do?
Right. Well, I mean, like if we didn't follow it, you'd be like, oh, okay, and then just all of a sudden, oh shit, Wolverine is here, But as someone who's like been jonesing for anything on this game, it's finally it's just like when it started, it was just like almost like it was just relief. Like I wanted to, I didn't scream, I didn't get all excited, but I just felt relief. I'm like, oh, it exists, and it's a video game, and it's going to come out.
Yeah, it's so similar how like my this was the exact path of my
right.
It's like, oh, there it is. Oh my god. All
right. Yeah, I was gonna say what is like the Knights of the Old Republic remake? Probably the other one now.
No, Star Wars Eclipse.
Okay, yeah, that's another one.
Not really for me, but like that's another. Just no. Not that there's any worry it won't come out. Elder Scrolls 6. I don't know.
Yeah, that's another one that's out there, and just nothing. But here we are. I think. I think we discussed it when we were talking Wolverine predictions. Is the violence level, right? And I don't think
seemed to be the big question.
And I think we landed on we didn't think it was going to be.
I don't remember, but I would have. That's where I would have.
Right. And they must have thought that the same. They must have thought about that internally as well, because this trailer opened up with Wolverine just obliterating a human being, splitting him in two with his claws. Just shocking. Like it just, wow, this game is incredibly violent, and the entire trailer, the length of the trailer shows off this violence. You get the Wolverine claws up through the chin and through the skull. They're not shying away from it.
They like slowed that one down and like ran it back and forth. They're like, look at all the blood that explodes from his face balls. Like, what the hell?
Well, even in the afterwards, we get the interview with the developers, and one of the developers, she was like, I didn't think we were going to be able to do that one, and here we are, and we got about a minute 50 look at the game. Multiple locations. I know we talked about that in our predictions episode. We're definitely seeing Canada. We're seeing Japan. We're seeing Madripoor. These iconic locations for Wolverine, and we got the teases of some characters. We see Omega Red. We see Mystique, and this is basically from all appearances, looks to be what we talked about. It is probably going to be a Ratchet and Clank jump to different locations. It plays like a mix of Spider-Man meets God of War, and I'm all for it. I mean, the trailer was incredible. It's everything you want. He's got the classic suit.
I mean, I want more gameplay, but
yeah, yeah. Oh, for sure, for sure. I want to see more, and we'll definitely get that. I mean, the lead up to this game is going to be huge. I'm sure it'll get its own dedicated state of play. Yep. It'll show up, probably at some May state of play. I would guess the next
Sony's
time we see it.
Biggest game next year.
Yeah. Yeah, Wolverine is a huge character. I mean, he led all the movies. He's got Hugh Jackman made a career out of this character. He did so many movies that it blows me away. I love Insomniac so much. They have done such a great job with Ratchet, with Sunset Overdrive, with Spider-Man, that to get the pairing of a dream studio that I love so much with a property that I love so much, it's perfect.
Yeah, I think I want to focus on something you said, which was I think that this game is going to borrow tremendously from God of War. I think that that's kind of their North Star that they're looking at when it comes to what they want to accomplish or do with this game. And I think you can make that assumption just based on something as simple as like where the camera angle seems to be, which is like he's close. Like Kratos is close to you. Wolverine looks to be close to you. Kratos uses a big fucking axe that can cut people in half. Wolverine can cut people in half with his claws. And I think what I wonder if it's going to be also is like, is this kind of another Sony Dad Simulator game? Is the journey Logan is incredibly angry at everything in the start, and you can't imagine this guy possibly having a soft side, and then we eventually get to that point. So is that what we're going to see? I don't know, but I think that they are trying to just kind of use that as a blueprint for what they want this game to be.
Rage is a theme for them both, right?
100%.
Kratos and Wolverine.
Very similar characters.
Yeah, so I'm with you. If I was to take a swing at what the story is about, is Wolverine rescuing somebody, going to these locations, following whoever the main villain is to these locations because he has to rescue somebody, and that could be any mutant. I mean, there's plenty of stories, and that's
you could be Rogue, right? Doesn't he kind of care about Rogue a lot?
No, Jean Grey.
Jean Grey? I thought he cared about Rogue in the movies.
No, it was Jean Grey. It's all the love triangle is Cyclops,
No.
Jean.
Well, yeah, but not.
I see.
The daddy angle.
You're right. The daddy angle is.
Okay.
You're right.
I'm wondering who the X-Men fan is here.
Yes. That's how the kicks the first movie off. Is
because I thought I remember something like he can kind of touch her, or at least doesn't die.
Yeah. So I mean, again, there's plenty of characters that would fit that role of rescue, and again, Wolverine's whole thing is he's a tracker, right? He's got an incredible sense of smell. He's trained in that. That's what he does. So it would make sense that this is what the story is going to be, and what drives him going from location to location to location.
That's my biggest question, man. Is can this game get me on an emotional narrative level? I don't need to explain to you or anybody, but comic books are not where I typically go to find my narratives. So I'm wondering, can they get me there? I hope they can. But I mean, and also too, they showed off the actor who's playing Wolverine, which is another kind of cool thing. He's not, A-lister by any means, but anybody who's seen the Spartacus show that I think used to be on Showtime, I actually for some reason watched that entire show, probably because there's a lot of violence and nudity.
Perfect.
But yeah, it was great. But Liam McIntyre, who is an Australian actor, seems to have a lot of passion for the role. Seems to kind of understand how important this is. It's a lot better than it used to be, absolutely. But we always used to kind of worry when people would do these stuff. I think of Kevin Spacey in the Call of Duty games. It's just do you understand though that how important video games kind of are to some people?
Right,
and you don't want him to phone it in. It does not seem like he is doing that. So yeah, it was a great way to show off the game. A great return to having us see it, and yeah, I mean now just let me. I want to see. It's the thing I always get. I want to see the HUD. I want to see what they gave us with Saros with Wolverine. What does that look like? How does the movement work? How does the traversal work? Right, that's the best part of the Spider-Man games is traversal. That is the number one best thing to do in those games. So
right. What's skill tree? What are you doing with Wolverine in regards to a skill tree? As where Spider-Man had his bunch of different gadgets and toys to play with. And
I hope it's not just a lot of his motorcycle. Like I hope the motorcycle isn't that. Like I hope that that's not the only primary way he gets around. I don't know what it probably will be. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. It'll probably be things like, if you're in Madripoor or if you're in these big cities, you're sticking onto walls with your claws, you're sliding down them, you're climbing up them. But if you're in like Canada, probably that's probably more Days Gone-y.
Right. Yeah. So I would expect this to have the zones.
They're gonna have the does as a comic book guy, Nicholas, does Wolverine have anywhere close to the amount of game that Spider-Man has with his suits?
Oh yeah,
he does. Okay, cool. That's part of the.
Did you watch Deadpool vs Wolverine?
No.
Okay. Or Deadpool and Wolverine. No,
isn't it first? Isn't it verse? Or is it end?
I thought it was and Deadpool.
I don't know.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
Anyway. Oh yeah. I mean, any comic book character. They have
cool.
so many suits. Yeah.
Cool.
There's plenty for them to pull from.
It is
And again, with their pedigree with Spider-Man, you expect all that. Expect the Easter eggs. Expect, the suit collection to be a big driver in the.
I mean, I imagine. Give me a unmasked Hugh Jackman suit, like where it's just literally Hugh Jackman's face.
Okay,
that's what I want.
I'm sure they'll have the Hugh Jackman white wife beater cigar look.
Sure. Or Hugh Jackman dressed as the Greatest Showman, but with claws for some reason.
Sure. But yeah, I'm blown away. This is up there. I can't like next year is just
He's
ridiculous.
Lost for words, folks.
It's just ridiculous. It's gonna be like it's easily gonna be probably. It could be my favorite year in gaming ever. That
usually I would say
you're
saying crazy things, but I can't for you specifically, I cannot discredit that. Grand Theft Auto, Wolverine, potentially Judas, like those three alone.
Saros, Hades 2.
Yeah, Hades 2, Saros. Those there's five potential all-timers.
If Playground can hit with Fable, like it's going to be one of the all-time years in video games, and
you're going to get a good 4 or 5 sneaky blueprints or some
right.
That you're just like what is this?
Right. Yeah, it's pretty wild, and it looks like Sony's been kind of not that they've had a bad year, but they've just kind of a little weak on releases.
Well, they've been relying on partnerships, with Kojima Studios or third-party marketing deals and things. It feels like it's been a little bit since we've had like your big boy, like the big boys are going in, and I think that's actually a good little. Like we now have Wolverine, Saros, Intergalactic, and. What else is announced? So there's one more.
There's one more?
Yeah.
I don't think.
Shit. I saw the there was like a cube and it had faces in each corner. I don't remember what it was. Oh, it was Marathon. So I don't really care. So it seems like they have their little slate listed out. The next one up that we don't know about is probably Barlog's game.
Yeah, Sony Santa Monica.
Or Bender, I don't know, but we're finally getting the big boys coming up here. That's good.
So
what's Blueprint doing? Wasting time.
Yeah.
Stupid.
But so for a state of play to the start and end like this, again, that's why I think it's above average for me.
I will admit, I'm a little bummed. I don't know how to approach this game with my son. Being such a big Spider-Man guy, and I would think that'd be like, guess the next game from Insomniac with superheroes. It'd be an easy thing to do. How violent are we going to
get? Right. Pretty violent.
Yeah, so we'll see.
So
do I have to worry about F-bombs? Do I have to? Probably.
Yeah, maybe. It's possible. But
I mean, I'm for it. My son will grow up eventually.
Yeah, and I'm sure it'll be established in this game that it is in the Spider-Man universe as well. Insomniac's Marvel universe is its own thing, and they are connected in some ways. So.
Yeah, I'm thinking, this is stupid, but thinking, they just had a Deadpool and Wolverine movie. Could Insomniac make a Spider-Man and Wolverine game? Like, how could that even be? Probably not, because they're two different styles, but anyway.
Okay. All right.
Slow down, John. Slow down.
Yeah, let's let this game come out and then go from there.
Sure.
All right. That was it.
Cool.
State of play done. Now it's just to play video games.
The hard part.
Yeah. So yeah, we can. That's it for the show. We're gonna kind of catch up on a lot of things next episode because we can tease a bunch of games now. I mean, we could talk more Silksong. John and I both have Borderlands 4. Shockingly, I didn't have that on our bingo card, but
Sprung out of nowhere.
yeah. Very briefly, what happened? You were in this. He's been talking about it as I joked about last episode. But what made you go to GameStop and get a physical copy?
Oh, pure spite for you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, pure spite.
A spite purchase.
No, I think you left early that day, and so I was talking with other guys at the office about just how everybody was like, yeah, I kind of want to get it. I was like, I kind of want to get it. Now, the funny thing about this is I am famous for not wanting to play this with anybody, so it shouldn't have impacted my decision at all. But I had this $50 GameStop thing, just burning a hole in my wallet, and Borderlands 2 is incredibly nostalgic for me. It reminds me of when I had time to just put 150 hours into an open world game, and I really, really liked it. And so the nostalgia hit me a little bit and thought, I kind of, let's see if the fifth straight open world game, maybe I don't bounce off of that one. So yeah, I mean, I've only a little bit into it, so it remains to be seen. I'm a little worried at this point, but it is good. It's just, is it 80 hours good? Probably.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. We can give our impressions of that. Immediately after he bought it, I was like, fuck.
Now here, I'm gonna say this right now, and this just popped in my head. Fuck the guys at work. If there's any listeners out there that want to play this, maybe I could jump in. Yeah. I know you're listening to Nick from work. I love you, buddy. I'm not not you.
Pal of the show, Nick.
Yeah. But I mean, I have thought because there's a really good or PS Plus month next month. I was like, should I just get a month and try with the boys? Maybe
right.
I'm just dead inside.
Here's the deal. If you want to play, just let me know.
I know.
You don't have to be on microphone. The game does a really good job of
I think I would want to be on microphone though. It's not.
The game does a really good job. You can fast travel directly to anyone, and you could just be in the world, and you get credit for everything.
Oh, wow.
You get credit for the XP, any collectibles that I collect. You get credit for that.
Okay.
And you take it into your game. So I think that is an amazing thing that they did. I really enjoyed that. It makes playing the game with other people just easy, especially like John, who limited time with the game and was like, oh, I'm just a level 5 and I got to jump in with all you level 20s. I don't want to do that, but I think the game does a great job of making that easy to do. So.
Well, and at least at this point, I've put enough time in myself so that I wouldn't, because that was my main thing. Is I feel like you guys would be playing for 5 hours. You've learned all the systems. You've learned what the map markers are. You've learned and then I would be like, guys, I don't know what any of this is, and you're running off to the next
scared.
thing. And I go, yeah, I don't know what any of this is. I'm fucking scared. All right, but so we'll have definitely more thoughts on Borderlands 4 next week.
Okay, yeah, and then I played and completed Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater, and with the Kojima Productions 10-year anniversary, all those announcements, it's a good time to combine both and talk some Metal Gear, which I haven't done in a very long time. MGS5 was 10 years ago, which is time moves too fast.
Yep. Just talk to Mario Galaxy.
So, I have a lot of thoughts about that game as well to touch on. So, I think next episode will just be game after game after game.
Well, and who knows? We might have to make a little segment to talk about one battle after another also, just because
we can.
Anybody who's a movie fan, that movie's getting insane reviews. I love Paul Thomas Anderson. I love There Will Be Blood. So, seeing his next joint, I think, with Nick here on Monday. So, if it's good enough, I might not be able to resist.
Yeah.
Then again, we should give people more time to see it. So, I don't know.
No, we don't have to spoil it.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's good. Go see it. Bye.
Yeah.
The 47 critics that said it's a generational movie weren't wrong, guys.
Sweet. All right. Well, God, it's again lots of stuff to look forward to this year and now next year. Holy shit, dude.
Yeah.
Love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. All right. So that's it for the show. Again, write in. Let us know your thoughts on the State of Play betweenthejoysticks@gmail.com.
Didn't you say one of our listeners is just beat Hollow Knight?
Yeah, pal of the show, Jesse did.
Yeah, you gotta have to write. I know you will, Jesse, but yeah, write in about that. I'm curious, and I'm also because we'll wait.
Okay.
We'll wait. Being that you didn't do the Pantheon and Hollow Knight, I'm curious how that transition goes.
All right. Thank you for listening. Hopefully you're listening to us while you play one of these many games, while you're playing Borderlands 4 or Chronos or Silent Hill F, which is supposed to be really good too. So many games to play, and we're here for it. So we thank you for listening. We love you out there. Take care of yourself. Play some video games, and we'll be back next week. Bye.
Deuces.